Okay, hello everyone and welcome back, and happy Mental Health Awareness Week. I hope you're all taking this time to better yourselves and help those people in your life that need it better themselves too. And today we have quite a relaxed video because it may seem like a big deal, but I'm going to talk you through it. James Charles is being sued. And before you ask, no, none of the parents have come forward to sue James Charles for sexing their kids. That's not what's happening here. He's actually being sued on the grounds of wrongful termination by an ex-employee. But before we dive into this, if you won't mind taking the 2 seconds out of your day to like and subscribe, it'd really help me out. We're trying to hit 2,000 by soon, and your contribution would mean the world to me. So thank you very much. Now, I could sit here and just lay out everything for you. However, James Charles broke his silence over social media and put out an almost 8-minute long Twitter video explaining the whole situation, and whilst I have cut it down, this clip is quite long, but I am going to let James Charles explain what's going on from his perspective, and I'll talk about it after we've watched the clip, so I'm going to let that run for you now.
Hello everybody, James here. I hope you guys are all having a beautiful day, afternoon, night, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing well as well. I really miss you guys. Don't worry, this is not my return to social media. But unfortunately, I am logging in today because I feel as though I am being cornered and have to make yet another public statement. I've been quiet online, but things behind the scenes have not been so quiet. There's a lot going on, and I currently feel as though the situation that I was in is being taken advantage of, and I feel as though I'm being blackmailed, which is why I wanted to film this video today. For those who are not aware, for the last 2 years now, I've been dealing with an ongoing lawsuit from one of my previous employees. This is something that I have never spoken about, I've never mentioned, because I wanted to keep it private out of respect for her, and the fact that it's literally an ongoing litigation, but she's now speaking about it, which is just perfect time considering everything else that's going on. Basically, when I was 18, I moved to LA. I was living in my downtown apartment, as you guys know, and my YouTube channel was just starting to take off. I was filming and editing 3 videos a week by myself for my channel, and I really just wanted help, so I hired an editor. This person worked for me and then was later promoted to my producer, which means she was no longer editing, she was helping me film videos and was like my right-hand person for a salary of $72,000 a year. She only worked for me for about 6 months and then was let go, and now I am being sued. The suit is all online, you can read through it if you really want to, but it basically alleges that she was wrongfully terminated, overworked, and underpaid, all of which are untrue. If you're not familiar with cases like this, they're unfortunately pretty common in like the entertainment industry, but they usually don't actually make it to court, which may sound weird, but it's for 2 different reasons. The first one being, they are ridiculously long. This was filed 2 years ago. People are only finding out about it like now, but we are not even close to getting an actual court date yet. So it is a long process and quite a headache. Because it's so long, reason number 2 is it gets really expensive really fast for the defendant, which in this case is myself. So most of the time the defendant will settle, which basically means paying an amount of money to the person making the suit to just drop it and move on. And I'm not going to act like this was not an option for me. Settling is oftentimes a good option, a smarter option, because it's faster, it's cheaper, and it's a lot less of a headache. But settling is no longer an option that's on the table, and I'm going to tell you why. This past week, I was reached out to for comment about a news article that is coming soon, and I learned that she is talking to the press about this lawsuit and what it was like to work for me as an employee. However, she's adding a ton of absolutely ridiculous, absurd, untrue, defamatory, just the craziest claims you could ever imagine. And in my opinion, it's an attempt to pressure me into making a much higher settlement offer. Once again, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. These claims range everything from I was so lazy, she had to force me to get out of my bed and brush my teeth, and without her, I would have never made a single video or a single dollar. But also things much more serious and disgusting, such as that I used to say the N-word around her all the time. This is just perfect, convenient timing as well, considering this past weekend, my old Twitter account, which I have not accessed since 2016, and only has 1 tweet, I guess was hacked last year, and the hacker publicly tweeted somebody the N-word, and people actually thought that it was me. The worst part about all of this, though, is that if I were, in some universe, to make this ungodly amount of settlement money, if I was to pay it, I'm sure a lot of you are smart enough to take a guess as to what would happen to these claims. They would be retracted and they would magically go away. I can't believe. I can believe this. I shouldn't say that. I just don't want to believe this. And unfortunately, at this point, my only option is to pursue this to the fullest extent of the law and hope that one day, whenever it does get to a courtroom in the future, justice will be served. The problem, though, and why I'm making this video today, is because until that happens one day, we're dealing with the court of public opinion, which is a very, very different situation. And it's a court that is not on my side right now, which is just frustrating because, like I mentioned earlier, I feel as though this is all just to pressure me. There has been 2 years of timed opportunity to speak about any of this stuff. But now it's happening, and now we're going to the press, and now we're doing this back and forth. It feels so wrong to me. But there's not much that I can do, and there's not much that I'm able to say about this either. All I can hope and pray is that one day justice is served and you guys are able to see me for who I really am and this situation for what it really is. That's all that I can hope. But until then, I guess I just have to wait patiently and just, come back when time is right. And I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but if you made it all the way through, thank you for watching. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I love you and I hope you're having a good day.
So I know that clip was long, and if you're still here, thank you. But I do need to say a couple of things first. The first thing I'm going to say is I've said in previous videos that I am actually a law student. However, I am a law student in the UK. I don't actually know how different the laws are in England and America when it comes to this kind of stuff, but just the fact that I know they are different gives me the impression that I shouldn't take this from a legal standpoint, and I won't. So anything that I do say in the remainder of this video should not be taken as actual legal advice, and it's just me commenting on my personal opinion on things, and not my professional opinion. Another important thing to add is that I'm going to take everything that James said in that video as the truth. I know he has a reputation for lying, especially about the recent claims, but if I'm going to be fair and reasonable about this, I have to hear him out and assume he's telling the truth. Because lying about this kind of stuff can get you in a lot of trouble, and I'm sure he doesn't want more trouble. I'm also making this video because I know how unfair some of these claims are, especially to the defendant. James already said how costly and how time-consuming the whole process is, but also how much it decimates public opinion. And the big problem here is definitely the fact that he wants to save face as much as possible, especially when these claims are as defamatory as they really are. And he does also make some very good points that it's very convenient timing that she's bringing all this stuff out now. She could have spoken about this at any point during the past 2 years, but now that he's in all this hot water and he's basically been banned off social media by all the social media users, it's kind of an easy picking for her. And whilst this is a really scummy tactic to try and get the public on your side, if she is right about all this stuff, then it's a very, very well played tactic. Because I've read some of these reports, and these claims are as bad as they sound. But another big thing to remember here is that James was guilty of all these previous accusations. So even if you are saying this is really scummy, she's taking advantage of the situation, she's allowed to because you've put yourself in this situation. Similar claims have come out about Mr. Beast recently, and the reason that they never really did anything or really got anywhere because everyone already knows that Mr. Beast is a really good person, and that while some of these claims may be true, overall, he really doesn't seem like the type of person to do that. But now, look at the difference of character between James Charles and Mr. Beast. While Mr. Beast is always known to be the wholesome, just good guy that he is, James Charles has always had these accusations, which weren't really accusations. People have come out exposing him that he's being predatory towards children, and that's a very, very big problem. If some claims like this came out about Mr. Beast, then 100% the claims of him being a bad employer would be a lot more reasonable and make a lot more sense. But just the fact that he's known as a nice all-round person, these claims fell through almost instantly. So in my personal opinion, whilst I don't really think these claims are true, because whilst James Charles has been, a predator, he's always really nice to these people, and he does seem like quite a nice person once you get to know him, especially because all the old drama of him being a bad person, that fell through, and James came out on top. So the whole claim about him wrongfully terminating someone seems a bit far-fetched, but again, we don't know what he's like behind closed doors. He did just get outed for being a predator, so anything could happen right now. And before I end this video off, I do just want to talk about the whole hacked Twitter account thing. That was hilarious. Imagine if that was actually James Charles, especially with the history he had with Jeffree Star just tweeting at him. These guys are like the two whitest people on the planet, and just imagining James Charles actually going through the thought process of tweeting that at him is hilarious to me. However, he's definitely not the type of person to do it. Again, he might be behind closed doors, but from his public persona, he doesn't seem like the type of person. Now, seeing as I let James explain the whole situation, I'm going to wrap up the video here. So if you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, all that stuff, and let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments. I'm pretty sure you guys have some really interesting takes, and I'd love to hear them. So, once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.